Initially, there will be vibrations with very high peak and very high ebb, and gradually, as the time element goes on, the high peaks get reduced because of the damping effect due to the discrimination and minimizing the ego. We are trying to start aligning our mind with the heart. This is very important. The mind should get aligned with the heart or the soul or the seat of the soul or the Atman or the Chaitanya. So, from the high peak, we have come to the horizontal line by aligning ourselves with the seat of the soul or the subconscious heart from where the message is springing out or coming, and then we are trying to align with or synchronize with the conscious mind by gradually dampening or reducing or minimizing the ego and the selfishness. The selfishness is a very important aspect that we should be awareful. This is how it starts. If I am able to internally communicate, that is, listening from the conscious seat of the soul or the heart to the conscious mind, and then re-clarifying it from the conscious mind with the seat of the soul repeatedly, wherever and however, whether you have listened to properly from the seat of the soul, if it is consistently telling the same message without any doubts arising in the conscious mind, then we have received the truthful, absolute message at the conscious mind level with the awareness. Otherwise, it is inconsistent. If it is telling different versions in the process, then the problem is you have not listened to properly without ego, without selfishness, without prejudice in conscious mind. This is the acid test whether we have listened well to the conscious mind or not. The process is very, very important, and we should be absolutely awareful and vigilant. So, some of these concepts are repeated again and again because the subject, absolutely real communication, internal or external, is very, very subtle and deep rooted. So, only we are forced to repeat again and again to beat it down the concepts into the conscious mind to be properly, effectively, and perfectly understood 100% as it is supposed to be understood. Until it is properly understood, to drive home the concept in the seat of the soul or the Atman or the Ru or the consciousness. External communication gives external awareness, giving input to the conscious mind. The second is external communication. If I am successful, if I am convinced at my conscious mind level, truthfully, with awareness that I am able to receive the message from the seat of the soul, then I am prepared to communicate with the external world. In the external communication, we should be very careful whether it is communication by speaking or by listening from external source. Here again, communication with external source is with one individual or with more than one individual. External communication is with two individuals, one individual to another individual, that is speaking and listening. Then the whole process is different because In this particular case, it is one-to-one communication. That is either speaking or listening. Here, the complications or the problems are less as compared to communication from one to many. That is, speaking by one individual and listening to many people, or speaking by one person and listening by many people. In the same way, many people speak and you are an individual to listen. All the variable outputs are more in this particular case. Let us now concentrate on external communication between one individual to another individual. It is quite interesting. First of all, let us go a step further down before individual to individual communication. What is the objective of this communication? Is there any necessity, objective to communicate at all? Is it required at all? Should I talk to him or listen? Is there a purpose behind it? Or this is just a time pass or a gossip? If so, there will be many unnecessary problems which might be involved, which might get involved or invited, and because of which the relationship might be strained or relationship might be jeopardized. So, first of all, let us be very consciously clear and do the internal communication within, before, and then we can express the speech, the contents of communication by external communication. This exercise we should do it with lot of alertness, vigilance and awareness. Then only the external communication will be proper, effective and meaningful. If it is accepted that there is an objective and if it is very clear, then we can go ahead with the external communication. If it is required only, then we have to go into external communication. Otherwise, remain in silence and be introverted to listen to inner voice. Be very clear and be awareful as to what you want to communicate externally. Know your external audience taste. Is it what you want to externally communicate? And is it what they want to hear or to listen? Is it what that person who is listening wants to listen or interested in listening? Please be very, very clear and awareful that there will never be 100% perfect communication. There will always be a minimum amount of communication gap or communication distortion or miscommunication or under communication. Let us not interpret at any time the speaker while speaking or communicating, or let not our ego dominate the speaker without listening by frequently interrupting in between many times. This is the greatest problem with the many listeners. The so-called the greatest orators or the speakers or the listeners have this inherent problem. They should be very, very awareful and vigilant and alert by not interrupting while somebody else is speaking. Most important thing in communication is internal communication within oneself inside. Once the problem is of communication is understood, then the solution is known automatically. This is the key to the communication. I remember the saying or the story narrated by Swami Vivekananda about the Guru, about his Guru or teacher, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, as follows in quotes. The only true teacher is he who can come down to the level of the student and transfers his soul to the student's soul and see through the student's eyes and hear through his ears and understand through his mind and make sure that the student has understood as to what he wanted to communicate to the student and ensures that the right message, correct message has been received by the student and understood by the student completely 100% in cohesion and by 100% in content. Such a teacher can really teach and none else. This is from the Complete Works, Volume 4, page 183 of Swami Vivekananda. So, the important aspect that we should remember is in the communication, one should ensure as a speaker, the listener receives the message, listens to the message, and understands the message with interest, with concentration, with absolute unbiasedness. In the same way, if I am a listener, I should also listen by keeping my slate in the mind clean, without any impressions in the mind already, erase it and keep it as clean as possible so that when the speaker is speaking to me, I will be able to listen to the message, what he is trying to communicate without any biasness, without any preconceived notion, without any judgment, without any selfishness. Then only I can receive the external communication from the speaker to me as a listener. I hope with the inspiration from the God, whatever has been told in this subject, communication, awareness, by God's grace, it has been communicated properly by speech as well as by writing so that the message of communication is communicated properly from my side without any ego or selfishness and biasness. So I pray to the God, Lord Krishna, who is the Jagat Guru, if I have done my job perfectly as he desires, as he inspired in my mind, my humble obeisance and pranams to Lord Krishna. In case if there are any mistakes or faults in speaking or in writing, this particular topic, communication awareness, I pray to the God and surrender to the God, Lord Krishna, to forgive me and correct me continuously, dynamically, whenever it is required throughout my life. Hari Om, Om Namo Venkateshaya, Sri Krishna, Saranam Mama.